Before we jump into this video, I first want to thank each and every one of you. I really appreciate all the comments you leave me, any likes and shares, deeply appreciated. A couple weeks ago, I talked about my MPC 2000 XL, my beloved, my love that I've had for 20 years now. As she's getting older, it's a little bit more difficult for the upkeep. Plus, I thought that it would be a good idea to maybe upgrade a little bit in the technology if it would help my creativity, or if I'm just ready to do something like that. If you haven't seen my last video about my MPC, go ahead and click on the link. You can watch that before you watch this video. Otherwise, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Look back even further. Close your eyes.
So last time, there were three different kinds of MPCs that I had in mind. The MPC 2500, the MPC 5000, or the MPCX. The reasons why I picked those three, and I know they're very broad, I thought they were all dope, as if any MPC isn't. The reasons why I picked those three is just because of the layout of each and every one of those machines, their capabilities. I think any MPC that you put your hands on and really invest time in is going to be absolutely perfect no matter what you're doing, as long as you spend the time learning how to work that machine. First, with the 2500, one of the biggest things that drew me to the 2500, number one, is that it is the most similar, aside from just the OG 2000, to an XL. So it was just the step above as far as the MPC line goes. That's what I thought would drive me more to getting a 2500, is because it is so similar to what I have now. Just a little bit more added features onto it because the technology has progressed in those few years between then. Next up, the 5000. What drew me most to the 5000, the layout, the workflow that I've seen people use on a 5000 was tremendous. Plus, it being much newer, I think it would be easier for me to read all of my synthesizers that are MIDI versus my 2000 XL. For some reason, I just could not figure out how to get things to read with my XL. So I've never used my 2000 XL other than just a standalone beatbox. I've never hooked it up to a computer aside from audio analog recording in, but I've never hooked it up to a computer to read, to communicate with each other. And I thought that the 5000 being much newer than the 2000 XL would be much easier to set up and to use. Next up, the MPCX. Of course, with an MPCX, it's absolutely sexy looking. It has so many features. The technology is top notch. It's the flagship MPC of 2020, 19, and 2018. So of course, that's something that I would definitely keep in mind. Now notice, I'm not really attracted to much smaller machines when it comes to it being my centerpiece. There's a couple of reasons why I do that. I think mainly I have the room. I have a fantastic studio room, so I do have some of this real estate, if you will, in the studio where I can utilize the space and use it for bigger machines. So that's one benefit, and I'm very grateful to have the space to be able to fill for larger machines. Of course, the capabilities and the features are typically much more than what you would have to offer in a smaller machine. Now granted, I think that a 2500 and an MPC Live, or even an MPC1 that had just dropped, is probably damn near exactly similar. And in fact, one of those newer machines would have more capabilities than a 2500 will. But with a 2500, I just like the sheer similarities to the XL. But back to the X, you know, the X, of course, it's the most technologically advanced MPC out there in the market today. It has more features than any of the other ones I have mentioned before, and that really does attract me. The one things that did kind of scare me away from an MPCX in the past is just because of that technology. I'm afraid that I would get so lost into features that I just really wouldn't be as productive as I have been with an XL. Y'all left me comments, I read them all, and I really took into consideration even the other ones that people recommended aside from the three that I mentioned. One being the MPC 4000, the MPC1, the MPC Live. I even read back into those just to double check to make sure that I was going to make the best decision possible with the money that I had. So after much deep research and looking into other features of this particular machine, I didn't go with any of the ones that I mentioned in my past video. Without further ado, this is my decision. Completely capable and more than I would ever want in a beatbox. Super dope looks too. This whole thing is packed with features. So in addition to just it being customized, the biggest feature that I loved about this MPC that I saw on the market for sale is this. This right here is a hard drive. The hard drive is a 1 terabyte hard drive that pops out. I can plug it back into the system, plug it into a box and connect it to my computer, download anything that I possibly would want. That to me was a huge ass selling point. Plus, it's a step above the 2000 XL and beyond, and the features that people told me about the 4000, it was extremely attractive for me. A lot of people do say that this was one of the best MPCs of all time. Being feature driven and sound wise, sound quality is extremely important to me too. So after watching a particular video, and I'll put the links below as far as this video that I watched on YouTube itself, was the fact that they had a comparison between an MPC 2500, MPCX, and an MPC 4000. What I was astonished was, even though it wasn't plugged into line, so the audio quality wasn't fantastic, it was just a microphone that you picked up from the phone or whatever camera that they were using, but I could definitely tell the difference between the sound quality when they uploaded all the same samples into the 2500, the 4000, and the X. And the 4000 definitely came out and jumped at me when I heard that sound quality. That is one of the main drivers why I even started doing more research into a 4000. I never really considered the 4000 to begin with, I think mainly because of the looks. I always like black things. So if you look around in my studio, most of my studio is black. It has black and it has wood, maybe a couple of touches of different color into the synthesizers or my beatboxes, but mostly everything laid out here is pretty dark. This is completely different. It's just I just went completely left field with it, but damn, it looks beautiful. This dude who owned it had this thing customized and repainted, and it really goes off of like the 16 squares style. I don't think this was done by 16 squares. So I have the white fat pads, and every single knob is like painted with some kind of like clear coat pearl blue. Again, completely left field than what my taste is, but nevertheless, it does look super dope. More importantly, the machine is actually incredible. I've only had a few days to mess around with it. There is a lot of things that I'm going to need to learn with utilizing this MPC 4000 to its full potential with me in the cockpit. So there's going to be, of course, a learning curve, as there would be with any other machine that I would have purchased. But so far, so good. I love the features out of this. So there you have it, my new MPC 4000. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I much look forward to making a video with me actually making a beat with this. Just wanted to get a little bit more familiar with this beast before I go ahead and post it up. So thank you very much for watching. If you wanting to tune in, I got another beat building video coming soon. That will be on the 2000 XL. Please like and subscribe to my page. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. This is Chameleon Sessions. Peace.